see them dropping this one. I think it's hard to see them dropping a game, to be honest, against Wolves today.
Well, it is an opportunity now for former teammates to go up against each other. Kuxir and Yukio both wanting to prove that they are currently the top player. More importantly, want to move through to those playoffs. Right now, only having both Guild and BS Plus confirmed. Turning into a very, very interesting final day for us. Mr. 5 standing between it. Here comes Tox. Almost got himself in a bit of trouble there, depending on how that challenge ended up following up. I'm very curious to see where that third man is going to loiter here from Wolves, how much they want to commit, and whether or not they can deal with this. Best defender for them there was the crossbar.
Yeah, you can't give Ixo a free shot from that range. He's got enough experience from those positions. Here's another uncontested Ixo touch, but that was from a bit more safe distance. Wolves will need to challenge those chances. I doubt that we'll see crossbars saving them. The accuracy will come through, and here's Ixo again. Just as I said, he's hit the bar again, so don't listen to me, clearly.
4v3.
They're onto something, just giving him free touches. But,
look, when we first brought out Rocket League, everyone thought that static goalkeeper was going to be the way to go, and Wolves have managed to get themselves one. It's called the crossbar. He's very good at what he does.
That's good control by Oli, but in the back corner there. He's baited in the challenge and taking it past the player. Kept control as well, but you know, keeping control is going to be a key for Wolves in this matchup, because I think they are going to be outpaced both on the ground and in the air. I think just in general, they're up against it here when it comes to mechanics. As Ixo once again, clean beat on Rick's Ronde, but it doesn't go into a dangerous position. Oli's dribbles in defense are proven valuable. Oh my! Yukio? Was it? Yeah, it was.
I think that might have been... Yeah, that was Yukio. That's...
Oh dear. I mean, he's just... Yeah, he's just had a total freeze on that one. It was like a deer in the headlights as the ball came at him. I don't know if he hesitated and thought, you know, like the only thing I think of is, you know, when you're facing away from the ball.
You get your left and your right mixed up.
Yeah, you think, oh wait, am I supposed to flip left here or right? Because your car's facing the opposite way. Obviously at this level it's automatic, but sometimes, even for the best players in the world, they have those moments where they're thinking, wait a minute, am I about to dodge in the wrong direction and look like a like a complete silver level player? No offense to silver, but you know, I did that when I was silver every game. So
Johnny Boy confirms if you're in silver, you don't know your left and your right.
No, when you're facing the wrong way, you know, you gotta. I tell you, I used to just write. I'm a keyboard mouse player, so I used to write R on the back of my right hand and L on the back of my left hand to remind me which is which. If anybody's looking for advice on how to avoid that. Still, I don't know how Yukio's managed to let that go through.
To avoid Rick's Ronde. Rick's has spent a good 10 seconds there, hitting him back into the goal. He tries to get out. He hit him again back into the goal. So just looking behind him, just going, where are the rest of my team? Ixo wants to go to the far side. Oh. Crossbar was there anyway. Yeah. I wouldn't have messed with it.
Clears it. I feel like Ixo's just... Is he trying to hit the crossbar at this point? I mean, he just guided that one to safety. And, you know, it looked great getting over the top of 3 defenders, but if you clear the ball while you do so, it's really not that meaningful, is it? So, accuracy plaguing Ixo this game. And, you know, he's really hit the bar there, but that looked like a bit more intentional as he tries to set up Yukio.
Oh, here's Tox. Doesn't have the boost for the double tap. Ixo goes low! Oh! He's finally zoned in! Ixo on the board.
Yeah, 5 shots, and now he's finally got his goal. But it wasn't before. Another solid structure causes him a little bit of a headache. The post this time, making him really work for this one. But Ixo putting the team back in contention here. I think this isn't really a game that they should be equal in. They've had the majority of the chances. The 1 goal they conceded was completely ridiculous. Surely now they can get the job done and take what should be theirs.
Yukio, let me get back to the corner. He doesn't have a teammate that can get it that quickly, and even then, they just go straight past it. This has been a very sloppy game of Rocket League so far. There's the crossbar on the other side. Kuxir has no such issues.
Oh no. Ixo has accidentally censored it for him. I don't think it was going to be an easy save, even if he didn't land on the ball and knock it towards Kuxir. it was still a good chance for Wolves. And, you know, credit to them, that was a fully forced play. The infield pass and the shot were both extremely well hit. But my goodness, Ixo is not having a good day with
on the
this.
other side of the field. Rix can actually just take this one all the way through. What?
Yeah, that's just open. I mean, I don't know what we're watching, Shogun. We just saw an absolute blinder of a series from WES Plus and Solary, and now it's gone in the complete opposite direction. Aether have got to pull themselves together here because they've been having a hard day at the office, and you know they're not helping themselves out.
We will officially chalk this one up as one of those games.
Yeah,
and, it's not over just yet. Talks off the kickoff has got us within one.
Oh, it's a classic, isn't it? It's just dead ball kickoff, and Cuxer's turned up the line. I mean, obviously, if anyone's going to have an excuse for doing that, it would be Cuxer. He's been playing this game for the predecessor as well for a long, long time. But for me, it's just the most unforgivable misplay to turn up the line like this on a dead ball kickoff, because you're leaving the net open and you're going to concede a kickoff goal every now and then.
Remind me to revisit this topic when we get in between games, because Cooks, there is no excuse. From my Battlecast knowledge, Cooks has no excuse. If we do go low, we almost got ourselves a tied-up game.
I don't think anybody's got an excuse to be fair.
There's nobody back. Cooks there hasn't put his shot on target. So I'm trying to find his team at least one more way through. There's nobody in the midfield at all for Wolves. It is just sort of being allowed to tick down on the time here from Aether. It's a very strange end to this game. Still, Ixo keeps it up. Yukio wants to try and pinch this over in the corner. Almost got the set. There's just too much power. And it is going to finally drop down. Wolves have taken a game one that was really available for either team should they have put their best foot forwards. Yeah,
I think that game was available for either team to win if they just turned on their monitors. I don't know what on earth that was, but I'm expecting a step up in quality from both, really. And there were moments, the infield pass from Cuxer towards Oli, which ended up in Cuxer scoring. That was a great play, and Aether were creating chances. You know, I think they should have been ahead by a couple goals before they eventually did score. But there were also moments in this where, I mean, what on earth is happening with Aether's third man? Yukio misses a ball that's barely moving. We see them all just go on a pilgrimage to the other side of the field when Wolves are attacking them. And at the other end, I don't think it was a lot better. Kickoff goal. The
all right, I need to talk about that real quick. Cux has no excuse to not be heading back to net there. Even at the start of Battle Cards, his 1v1, 2v2 kickoff as well was always the same. Start, go for the boost, get back to goal, save your shot. That was his only kickoff that he had. It
really is. It's quite simple. The solution is just don't turn up the field, don't go down the line. If you just turn back towards your goal, then you're not going to concede kickoff goals where you can't do anything. And this is the key for me, is, you know, by playing that kickoff strategy that Wolves went for, they are just admitting from the very start, or the only set piece in Rocket League, we're going to concede here sometimes. You know, it's just admitting defeat for me, and, you know, it's a bad decision. So hopefully we don't see them make that one again. Luckily for them, the mistakes from Aether and their one really, really good play of the game with that infield pass outweighed that one kickoff goal mistake that they made, and they've given themselves a lead here. Cuxer might do so again, but his shot goes wide. He's trying to trick the defense going back across him, but he's put it out for a throw-in, as you say.
Oli taking it over from the corner, and he's doing a great job of it. Two players tried to stop him, but couldn't quite prevent him from getting it back into the midfield, and it might not matter.
Wow.
Ixo, no nonsense, to the corner, back to himself, and it's in.
That's a great touch from Ixo, and he's up faster than anyone by a country mile there, as he puts his team in front. No crossbar to save Wolves on that play. I wonder, will Aether be able to keep the defense solid throughout this game, because it really wasn't in game number one. So far so good though in game two.
That's going to be just above the crossbar. So it's dunked on by Cuxer, who can follow this actually. Tog struggling to regain possession of the ball. So again, just pops the ball up high. A demo pulls Tox into a bit of a rough position, especially on low boost. Wolves have got themselves into a nice spot, but the rotation is dropping at crucial moments. They're not getting players to the ball quite quick enough. Probably would have liked the second car of his just glued onto the front of his current one if he wanted to try and reach that pass. A little bit of ping pong now. Ixo will win it. Get some territory for his team. Tox back midfield. Rich Ronde waits for it. It's going to bounce awkwardly for both teams. Very difficult to really create too much, especially when Oli does hit it for second time. Now off the backboard, Ixo booms it. And that demo from Oli now becomes so useful because that would have been a loitering player downfield. Here's Cookser. Off the backboard, double commit. Ixo has to get something. Not only has he got it away, he has got it in.
Well, just as it looked as if it might be a really, really risky situation for Aether, Ixo scores. What a touch, straight down the middle. He caught Wolves completely by surprise there. They think they're the ones in a 2v1. They think they're the ones who are attacking. Ixo's got other ideas. That is a brilliant finish. Sneaking a goal in from a position that nobody expects it, and he might have scored another one here. Rix against the bar, keeps it out, but it is in from Yukio's follow-up, and now they lead by 3.
Well, we were asking after the previous game, you know, who was going to be the player to really take to the field first? Ixo's that player.
Oh, yeah.
And his team is really reaping the rewards for that at the moment. Now you can see the rest of the team getting a lot more comfortable with the offensive positioning. For Wolves, we're yet to see anyone step up. They still look very tentative, even when they've got position on the other side of the field. It's been difficult for them to have enough pace to even create issues, let alone, you know, take advantage of it, because by the time those issues have happened, nobody's around before it's been fixed. You know, those players are recovered, they're back in position, they're fine, they're not worrying about it. And a 3-goal lead should put us to a 1 each scoreline coming out of this. Rix Ronde straight over to Ixo. Not looking for the pass. Ixo's still in the way. Has to be said though, Johnny, despite the improved performance here from Ixo, there is still a lot of room for both these teams to grow.
Certainly, I don't think Aether are all that worried about the offense that's coming at them from Wolves. You know, occasionally there will be a one-pass play where Wolves have put something of sorts together. But apart from, you know, one pass here and there, one shot here and there, there's nothing to be afraid of. Aether are deliberately backing off here because they've realized, okay, last game, our third man was out of position quite often, so let's just take it back a little bit. Because I don't think that the controlled game is something that Wolves are really that interested in. No, there's another pass there from Cux. He's just bullied it through, and Oli will put it in the top corner. So it isn't over just yet. But, you know, apart from Oli, I've not seen anyone on Wolves really be willing to dribble or air dribble or control the play. And you need to control the play if your opponents are backing off and playing as deep of a defensive line as Aether are at the moment.
Oli's going to get another chance. Flip reset over to Rix Ronde. Needed to make a decision a bit quickly about whether he would shoot or take out the keeper. Here is Ixo. Takes his own version of it. And that is how it's done.
Yeah, just really taking the suggestion of Wolves there. And like you said, one-upping them. Flip reset on the air dribble. And then he flies into Cuxer to make sure that no save will be possible. Ixo, in case there was any doubt, he's been the difference in this game. He already was, now he is with an exclamation mark. And here he is again. He's tried to reverse it in, but it's hit the bar.
Crossbar again.
Oh no, I've seen this from Ixo in the past. I'll be honest, you know, you casted a lot of this guy's solo duels, and sometimes he's his own worst enemy because he gets so in that flow state and he gets so in the zone that he starts to try things that are too difficult.
Positive tilt, they call
yeah,
it.
he just goes too far in that direction. So, you know, I don't think that's what's happened yet.
It's not a big issue right now. They've won this game. Well, if we get more of it to start off the next one, then it becomes a little bit more of a problem.
Exactly, yeah.
But for Wolves, this... Oh, wait a second. Let's add another one to it. We've got so many. If Ixo keeps playing like this, we've got so many players that could be in for MVP sort of conversation. Of Ixo, Nolly, a Chronic, My goodness. But he's got to keep playing like this. That's, you know, one good game, one bad one from everybody in game 1. See what we get in game 3.
Oh yeah, the E was the difference in this game. We're wondering who's going to step up and really make this series theirs. Well, there's your answer. Ixo with an outstanding performance, and it makes you
Johnny,
wonder.
do you want to terrify you?
Okay, not really, but go ahead.
Top Blokes 2-1 against Giants Gaming.
Well, that is definitely scary for Giants because they need this pretty badly. If they're going to go through and qualify for the major, they need to do it today, and they need to make it through that lower bracket today, the lower knockout gauntlet today. And if they want it to be in their control, you know, whether or not they make it to the championships at the end of the season, then they've got to win against Top Blokes. They can still make it through if their rivals lose, but they don't want to leave it up to chance like that. So huge series happening right now between Giants and Top Blokes.
So 5 minutes here, see whether or not Wolves have got an answer. I'm really curious where they're going to start holding that second player, the one that's supposed to be in offense, but just off the ball. So we didn't see that player really aggressing all that much until Wolves were 3 goals down. And they keep playing like that, they're going to find themselves in that position way too often. The ball up, Rix Ronde back to Cuxir. This is better from Wolves, but they needed something else. Wasn't necessarily the second man there, it was the third. Figure out whether or not they wanted to move on in. Rix Ronde will leave it to absolutely no one. So pops the ball onwards. Wanted to find Oli, who scattered as far up as he possibly could to avoid being hit.
So a better start for Wolves to this game. You know, they're just sticking to the same game plan, wanting the power clears and the hard hits to pressure Aether into submission, but there needs to be follow-up to these touches. You can't just hit the ball hard at your opponents and then wait for them to miss. At this level, you have to threaten demos, boost steals, interceptions. Just something needs to follow up all of these hits, or nothing's going to come off it. But you know, look out for those infield passes from Cuxir as well. He's been sneaking those in at opportune moments.
Tops towards the backboard, gets hunted away. Really had absolutely no choice in it. And it's going to be back over. Ixo to the corner. Wants to avoid Rix Ronde, who clatters into him for the challenge. Thompson. Oh, what a hit. And this lingering player is starting to turn into a little bit of a difference maker.
Yeah, that's just great cherry picking from Tox. He's upfield, but instead of taking off ball cam, going and looking for a boost pad, he's kept the ball cam on, makes himself an option, and nails a shot straight into the open net. It's all Aether at the moment. Wolves need something special. Cuxir trying to be the man to give it to them, and he's denied by, I think, you know, multiple goalkeepers could have kept him out there.
Oli wanted the challenge. Ixo happy to provide. Ixo always will have the perfect angle covered on those challenges. Now back to the corner. Rix Ronde tasked with winning that one. He does well. Can't quite find anyone in the midfield, though, to truly help him get rid of this danger. You're back in. Maybe not the most advised player, but those corners are so difficult to really get a set from. And more often than not, like you just saw, you do end up just sort of helping the other team get half volley clear.
And again, it's just that control for Wolves. It seems to be the missing element. They don't have enough threats to force Aether players out of position, to force them to compromise their boost totals. Yukio has completely faked his former teammate Cuxir and doubles up their lead. And he did well here. This is a tough one to read for Cux. He's not in an easy position. Commits to the wall, and as soon as Yukio saw him do that, he decided to go for the mind game. Brilliant shot selection. 2-0 Aether.
Yeah, absolutely no chance. Cuxir has got to move. He's got to try and predict something, and as soon as he was on the wall, that was game over. So for Yukio, happy to put his team up by 2. And these last 2 games have really looked like Aether has managed to figure out the puzzle. Cuxir, well, he wanted to try and dribble that one. Tox was having none of it. Take it away. was off the backboard. Ixo trying to follow, he didn't get it. Here's Oli's chance.
Oh, no.
And it needed to go top corner, directly into the path of the keeper.
Yeah, it needed to go anywhere but there. I mean, he had the whole goal to aim at, and he's hit the goalkeeper, who's right in the middle of it. So the accuracy has got to improve, or else Wolves are going to be in trouble here by an even larger margin. Still, pretty good showing for Aether. I think their adaptation to sit back more is the perfect counter to Wolves, who just aren't interested in dribbling, air dribbling, playing a slow aerial game. And they're getting goals every now and then. They're producing enough threats on counterattacks to look like the heavy favorites here.
Tox just sitting back at the moment. Yeah, I do like the point you were making earlier on about how just there isn't enough threats. That was good. Almost managed to cause enough calamity to really give them the chance. Now on the counter-attack, Cooksier saves. The question has been throughout this entire series for Wolves, once they get the chaos, once they get the save, what happens after? Because right now it feels like they get the play, and that is it. There is no follow-up. There is no second way of keeping it going. It is just, we have got to beat all three of these players once and put the ball in, and we've got nothing outside of that.
And this will just be game. I think late in the game here, Wolves have realized we might need to just, try and force the issue a bit more. I mean, even playing for 50-50s would be a better strategy than what they're doing here, because they're just hitting the ball hard and hoping that something happens. You can't do that against a team who are sitting back like this. Aether have committed to just defending, and they've done a really smart thing here, because until their opponents start to switch up their style, they're going to keep on profiting off counterattacks. They're going to keep on absorbing all this pressure and letting their mechanics do the talking. They've still been the better mechanical team. The recoveries, the boost management, the speed has all been there for Aether when it mattered, and Wolves look toothless. And they're on potentially their last game of the RLCS next season. They need a win to keep their season alive.
Yeah, absolutely so. And for Wolves, it's now time to make the change. If you see Aether playing the way they were in game one, absolutely keep it going. You don't need to take risks if that team is going to play you in a style that you're comfortable with and just is going to make the mistakes and just hand you goals. But as soon as that game two happened, changes have to be made. Wolves are currently just look second best right now in terms of pace to Aether, who are looking so quick across the board. So leading the charge in game number 2. The rest of the team have worked their way into good positions. I think a lot of credit as well has got to go to Tox. He's been sort of tasked with dealing with those long clears for the most part. He's been the one sat furthest back, and just every single ball he puts back into that orange side of the field has been perfect. Rest of the team, very happy to just turn around and keep the play going.
And just as we start game 4 between Aether and Wolves, game 4 between Top Blokes and Giants is concluded. Giants have been eliminated in lower round 1. No major for them in the spring split. Their chances to make the championships at the end of the RLCS season relies on one of Dignitas or Guild not making this major. So it's an absolute disaster for Giants to be eliminated this early, and now they just have to sit back and wait and hope that Dignitas lose today. That's their biggest chance of making it in. It's not looking likely. Dignitas played so well earlier on today.
Absolutely. I mean, everything is now out of their own hands, and we'll get the full reaction to that later on from Leaf, Gibbs, and Desk. But now, all eyes are on Wolves and Aether. Aether really coming into their own during this series. They have looked impervious throughout the entirety of this tournament, taking the top spot in their group. It was not an easy group either. They came on through, beat Soldari, beat Dignitas, beat White Demons, and somehow managed to overcome Howard. How dare you beat Calix? That's my favorite. Here is Ixo, and it's been one of the major reasons why Oli does avoid being hit. Ixo still wins the challenge. And still at 0-0.
Yeah, Aether are playing a good strategy for this series. They won't be doing this against the more quick teams, the more, air dribble and grounded focus teams as well. They will definitely play a more proactive challenge game in those matchups. And we're still waiting for Wolves to force them into that. This is actually, better by Cuxer. At least he's threatening a dunk there. He's got pressure on the ball, so it's a bit harder for Aether to get a big clear on it, to start that counter-attack immediately. Those are the things that Wolves need to be doing with consistency. And Oli has been, I think, the one player he's tried to dribble out of defense a few times. That's been much needed for them.
So again, challenges. Half rotation to him is just actual rotation. Very happy to always keep turning around. Now he's going to have another chance. Drops down to him and almost dunked it. Rick Ronde. Happy to see it just skirt past that blue car. Well, we have a chance. Puts it up high. I think that's a bit of a waste. You've got to put that one even higher. Let's see if you can get it into that spot just towards the top of that backboard where it'll just drop straight down for you. 2 minutes left. Ixo, low challenge. Doesn't quite get it. Yukio blasts it. Great reaction times from Oli. Keeps it out.
Yeah, fantastic save. Wolves playing a competitive game 4. I think they've just tried not to get hit on those counters. They're not committing as hard to the Aether half of the field. We got both teams adopting extremely defensive structures. We saw this from BS Plus and Solary in the long overtime they played as well. It's something that all teams are capable of these days. But consistency is everything. When this happens, one wayward touch is all that needs to happen, and you're in big trouble. And that could have been it. But Tox kept his eye on it again, and we talked about this last game. Tox keeping on that ball cam, staying relevant even when he's on the wrong side of the ball.
And full credit to him as well, because there was explosions all over the place. 2 demos, 2 bumps. And for the most part, you didn't really notice it in any of the rotation. Or Aether, they just stuck with it, didn't really worry about that one. Now they're going to have to deal with a shot, although being quite low means Ixo can go on the counter-attack. Goes for the other side. There's the danger. We already know that Wolves have been looking out for it. One more demo. It's now open. And Tux will find the save. Ixo looks to counter again. Well, both teams know what they want. Both teams know what the other team wants. And neither team has been able to succeed just yet, but they are getting mighty close.
Goalkeeping by Oli, keeping Wolves in this one. As 2 counters from Ixo get mopped up and the game remains tied. But you saw in the last play, the demo was what brought that clear to life and made it into something useful. These other shots that are just flying straight to goalkeepers, not so much. But who will clutch it up here? Ixo's not had any brilliant solo plays. He packed them all into one game, as Aether are probably thinking, Ixo, you gotta spread those around a little bit more. You know, maybe do 1 in every game, not 4 in 1. But they can still take this 3 games in a row if they lock it up and play to the level we know they're capable of.
Ixo has passed Oli. Back out to Tox. Wants to put it in a difficult spot. Oli's missed it! And cooks it. Just enough of distraction to keep that ball out. Tox once again holding on to that midfield. He's been so crucial to the rotation of Aether all series long. I'm sure he would like to try and go and bag himself the winning goal. Yukio looks to provide at least a chance for that. And it's very much the same as we saw during the game itself. Pressure coming out from Aether. Wolves waiting for their chance to escape. But at the same time, it almost feels like if you're going to watch out, you got to watch out for the demos. Rick's Ronde wanted Tox as well. Almost could have caught Yuki on his way through. If Wolves are going to score, it's going to probably be with nobody left on the field. They're going to get them.
Yeah, that's been their main game plan. They're just trying to add something to their offensive playbook that wasn't really present in the earlier games. It's been the offensive runs ahead of the ball, the blocking, the demos, the bumps. Aether are still piling on the pressure at the other end. They have to be careful not to let their 3rd man disappear like they did in game 1, though. That's something that's starting to happen as Ixo chips it into the bar. Here comes Ixo again. He's hit the bar again. And it's saved by Oli. Crossbar is Ixo's worst enemy once more.
Now Oli on the other side of the field. At least able to get it into the corner. He's not going to be able to steal the boost, though, which I'm sure he would have preferred. Ixo wants to make up for it. He's had a great performance so far this series, even despite the crossbar hits. But you know he wants to take out Cookser, who avoids being hit. Nerves of steel from the Italian.
What positioning by Cookser just narrowly avoids a demo that would have ended this game and ended the series and ended the season for Wolves, but they're still going. The save after the fact was great as well, but now here comes Ixo. His second touch is actually taking Tox out of the game. Yukio decides to fake a challenge, and Oli will recover and get it past him. And they follow it up though. Will Kuxer get the first touch? Yes, he will. Rix can attack this ball, and he does, but what a read. Yukio collects it on the back wall with composure.
Kuxer wants the double tap. It is collected by Tox. Back to Oli. This is the best offensive push we've seen in some time from Wolves. And again, that demo will be available should they get a good landing. Be able to maintain that momentum. Shot down, Ixo. Back over to Yukio. Great transition so far. Over the top. Rix Ronde has got to buy his team some time. This is why the ball into the midfield. And Oli is back to help him out.
Nice fake challenge there by Tox. Baited the move out of Oli. And now that's it. More composure as Yukio calls Ixo to let that one roll through, just inches away from the goal. But they knew no one was there. Ixo now 50-50s it past Oli. But the follow-ups are happening every time for Wolves. This is easily the best game they've played in this series. Fighting for their season as we speak.
It's difficult for Kuxer to collect, especially with that Batmobile, but he does incredibly well. Rix Ronde, first one to it, chance to win the game. And Ixo had enough boost to get in front of him.
Yeah, I'll tell you who doesn't have boost though, it's Kuxer. He's got nothing. He knows how to hide behind a ball and play the 50 game though. He's done it a couple of times. He's actually baited Tox and Ixo in for this. But double commit, double the chance for success as the ball now swings from end to end of the field. And I'll tell you what, these double challenges are working out well for both teams. The 50-50s are turning into 67-33s. Is Kuxer going to catch this? No, he's not. It's in from Tox. And all it took was one slow rotation. Kux had absolutely no boost to play with, and Rix committed. What a game, what an overtime. And you know, it's good to see a solid effort there from Wolves as their season ends. But congratulations to Aether. Thoroughly deserved. And they continue their winning streak, 5 straight series in this tournament.
Yeah, that is going to be a huge win for Aether. They have got themselves through to the playoffs. They are 5-0 in the tournament. The only team to still be undefeated so far. As for Wolves, they are still in this one. They have got themselves a chance over against top blokes. That is a challenge and a half for them. The top blokes that just eliminated Giants Gaming. So an awful lot still going on over here. And today has just been delivering. I have been having an absolutely great time of it.
Our brackets are dead, Shogun. Our predictions are dead.
What did you go for? What did you go for?
Actually, this one we got, but then lower not so much as top blokes advance. But, you know, we're still at least on for one here with Aether advancing. But yeah, it's going to be tough. Top blokes beat Giants. Wolves are going to have a hard time down there, but anything's possible.
Anyway, we got a bit of a relaxing one actually after this, Johnny. Because we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to chill, we're going to recline, and we're going to watch Team Vitality against Team BDS to see who gets top 8. Yeah, this day just keeps rolling on.